Hello, Trailblazers. Welcome to Agentforce World Tour Mumbai. How's everyone doing today? How are people on the left? Are you doing all right? What about people on the right? Are you having fun? What about the wonderful people in the middle? Are you energized? What about people at the far back? Do you feel the electricity? You are? You can see me at least? All right. And of course, all the people, thousands of people who are watching us live online. I don't know how I can't get your reaction, but I hope that you get the best out of this event. Sania Mirza was inspirational, don't you think? And I know one thing about Sania Mirza is that she works really hard on her game. And she has a true passion for it. And I see the same passion in each one of you because you have all taken off from your very, very busy schedule and you made it here to this event, which shows your passion. It shows that you want to up your game. Not tennis, but you want to up your game in technology. And also that you have invested this time to become a better professional. So give yourself a big round of applause. We have a great show in store for you. Today we would like you to get inspired when you hear the trailblazing stories from our customers. Today we would like you to have fun when you immerse yourself in all the innovation we will be showcasing today. But more importantly, today I would urge all of you to get to know each other. And why I say that is because if you look at any enterprise company, they do large developer events. Like we are doing one ourselves, which is called TDX on May 2nd, where we have 7,500 developers coming to meet us. But this event, for those who have not attended Agentforce World Tour, this event is a business user conference. Right? So what you will find here are 4,000 of your sales, service, marketing, IT leaders as your peers. So you will talk business here. So get to know each other, talk business, understand business. One thing more which I really wanted for you to take away, we wanted you to be future ready. You should understand how AI agents and digital workplace can transform your business. Now AI agents, as many of you would already know, they are autonomous and they are proactive applications. And autonomous, I mean hands-free, and proactive means that they can take actions themselves. They are autonomous, proactive applications which can help you automate tasks, not just for your customers, but also for your employees. How many of you, with a show of hand, have implemented an agent in your organization or used digital workforce in your organization? Okay, I see a few hands, but you'll be surprised to know that last year, 16,000 of our customers built agents. And if you want to see a live example of an agent, you don't have to look very far. All you have to do is go on to salesforce.com website, and you will actually interact with a sales agent. So this is one company, Salesforce, which I'm so proud to work for, who has true trust in its own technology. And then you will see all our peers who have tall claims of being agentic, they don't even have a self-implementation of AI. So, we have an amazing lineup of speakers today. Customer speakers who will come and will explain how they use Salesforce. We have Genpact, we have Hero FinCorp, we have Pyramid, we have people from Tata's, and many more. We also want to thank 30 plus of our partners who have come here and supported this event. We have the innovator partners, we have Deloitte, we have KPMG, we have Accenture. Deloitte has also been kind enough to sponsor the Fins and Consumer Industries track. KPMG has sponsored the marketing track. We have AppsTrail, who has sponsored our manufacturing track. So a big shout out and thank you for supporting us. You remain our pillars, and thanks. And it's because of you we derive all this strength. Today is all about trailblazers. A lot of you may ask, who are trailblazers? Trailblazers are the innovators, the pioneers, the lifelong learners. And last year, we basically had one different kind of a trailblazer who joined us in our journey. He's carved his own path in the world of cricket. Any guesses who? Yeah, Rahul Dravid. He remains the face of our campaign, not just because he's a legendary cricket, because his values and Salesforce values really resonate, which is trust and dependability. And since you're all here gathered today, you made that effort, I wanted to give you a sneak peek of one of the campaigns which we are going live. It's an Agentforce campaign. We're going live nationwide next month, and I wanted you to be the first one to see it. So just roll with it.
Cheers! So, madam, how's the anniversary celebration going?
It's perfect.
Please thank the team for planning it.
Especially Ria. She's good, huh?
ये रिया कौन है?
Agentforce की AI customer service agent. आपकी सारी preferences जानती है.
Hi, Mr. Kapoor. How about a complimentary dinner?
Oh, she's too good, yeah.
Agentforce, sales, service, marketing को बनाए और भी amazing. तो next anniversary क्या plan है? Shall we ask Ria? Agentforce, what AI was meant to.
That's what AI is meant to be. We completely adore Rahul Dravid. But there is one person amongst us here who has a very special place in the heart of every Salesforce employee. It's under her leadership, Salesforce India is growing strength by strength. To continue this conversation, I would like to call upon the very inspirational leader, the indomitable Padma Shri, and President of CEO of South Asia, Arundhati Bhattacharya. Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome everybody. It's great, Mumbai, that you turned up in such numbers and on absolute time. Really and truly pleases my heart for my city. I want to welcome specially, all the people who have been supporting us throughout, whether it be our partner ecosystem, our customers, and of course, the sales blazers, the service blazers, the data blazers who do all the marketing that you just saw, the data fan, those who actually use the analytics tool that we have, which is Tableau, the muleys who create the integration layer for you so that you can access every single bit of your data, and more than anything else, the newest community that has joined us, the agent blazers. Welcome everybody. So let me just introduce you very quickly to Salesforce. I know you all know Salesforce, but one thing that I really and truly admire about Salesforce is that it's a values-driven company. And these are our values. And these, by the way, are not values that are simply written on a wall or on a piece of paper. We live these values every single day through all of our products and all of our processes. It is trust that today is very much in deficit across the world. And especially because we handle your data, it's very important for us to be trusted. Because your data is your product. It's not ours, it's not anybody else's, it's your data and it will remain yours. Similarly, regarding customer success, the way we actually deliver customer success is through innovation. So we are innovating constantly, consistently to ensure that success is yours. And of course, every single day we strive for a world that is more equal and more sustainable. And as we go towards that, we also realize that these values lead to a place where we can make a business which is different. We can make a business which actually can be a platform for change. And that has had an enormous impact because of the philanthropy model that we have created along with the business. We created the cloud business, we created the subscription model of the business, and we created a one by one policy whereby 1% of our time, which by the way is the most valuable ingredient all of us have, plus 1% of our products and 1% of our profit is given to the non-profit community. In India, of course, it's 2% of our profits as per the company's law, but that's the way it is. And as a result of that, we have now given more than 5 million in direct grants, 622,000 hours of volunteering time, and more than 400 non-profit organizations use our licenses for free. As such, we really are very, very proud of being called one of the most innovative companies, a company that really cares in the area of philanthropy, and a company that's ethical. And towards that end, it's not as though we are also not delivering on the business, because as you can see, we are on our way to deliver 40.9 billion in revenues by the end of FY26. So tell me, what was it like actually, for Salesforce in India? Where has Salesforce gone? 20 years back, we started with a very small office in Mumbai. Today, we are in 6 locations. We are more than 13,000 people. We ended last year with revenues of over 9,000 crores. And not only that, we are very soon proudly going to be occupants of the 10th Salesforce tower worldwide. So this is going to come in in Bangalore. I wish it was Mumbai. It is going to come in Bangalore, but well, that's where most of our people are, so that's the reason the tower is going to be there. Now, if you look at India, why is India so special? One of the reasons for that, of course, is that out of the 19 million trailblazers that we have across the world, more than 2 million are in India alone, the largest number outside of the US. And that is something that we are really and truly proud of, because Salesforce ecosystem is supported hugely out of India and from India. And that is something that I really and truly I'm very proud about, because this is something that India really and truly specializes in. And you can see that from the number of you over here. This is something that would be considered a really big event anywhere else. Well, in India, it's just one of the other events that we are doing. Having said that, what is it today that Salesforce really helps to do? What is the problem that is faced by all businesses? If you look at any business, at the heart of the business are your workforce, are your people. Now, are your people really being able to be as productive and as efficient they would like to be? Or are they already feeling the stress, feeling the burnout? Are you limited by the capacity? How can you create engaged workforces? As you can see, most surveys say that companies that have engaged employees, they actually outperform in respect of their particular group of industries. And if that is the case, then you are in a good place. But that is in more than many instances, that is definitely not the case. And you can see that 41% of the time, as per these surveys, they say that the workforce actually uses them for repetitive, low-value jobs. Now, as a result, what happens is the workforces just feel overwhelmed. They feel stretched. Their capacity is fixed. Their productivity is fixed. They get burnt out. They're not able to stretch themselves. But will the customers accept that? The customers are not going to, tolerate that. What do they want? They want absolutely zero hold time. They want experts who will be personal and empathetic at the same time, and they want resolution and they want delivery as of now. If you see today's youth, if they want suddenly to buy a car at 11 in the night, that's when they want to buy the car. It has to be at 11 in the night. Now, how do you stretch your workforce in order to meet up with the requirements that the customers have? And that's where we came to think of this, that what if the workforce has no limits? Of course, you cannot keep hiring people in order to create this. How do you then create a company where the workforce has no limits? What do you do in order to ensure that you are able to do this? And that's where Agentforce comes in. Agentforce is your digital labor platform. It's the platform, again, I do not want to go through this particular diagram, which people who are far more technical will do. But what I do want to tell you is that this particular platform that we have for the Agentforce, first and foremost, it's trusted. It ensures that your data remains your own. It ensures that you get the right results, that you're not getting toxicity and bias out of it. It ensures that you can trust it. Not only that, it's an extremely unified layer so that it's very easy to deploy, and it will be able to use information across your platform, across your organization, and be available to whoever you want it to be, again, across the organization. Not only that, it's a very open platform. Open in the sense that we are not asking you to rip and replace all the technology investments you have done. It can ride on top of whatever technology investments you have done. And that's the speciality about what we have created in respect of the agentic platform. Now, having said that, what is the human workforce? What is it particularly capable of at this point of time? Any company with a human workforce is plagued by this fixed capacity, the burnout, and the slow growth. What happens when you bring in a digital labor force over there? Immediately what happens is you get unlimited experts, you get zero hold time, and you get limitless growth. That's the advantage of agents working with humans in order to bring you the best of productivity and creativity and efficiency, because agents will take off from your shoulders the kind of jobs that you don't need to worry about at all, that can be done by them just as well. Okay? And because, we don't believe in just saying these things, we want to tell you that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We ourselves are an Agentforce company. At this point of time, in respect of our helplines, 30,000 calls, by the way, are being attended per week by our agents. And out of this, 85% are first call resolutions. When we started 4 months back, we were at 44%. We have since tuned the agents so that today, 85% of our calls get resolved in the very first call. We have more than 700 indexed articles. And not only that, it's not a question of only having service agents. Even as you try to ramp up your workforce, and the frontline workforce has a lot of attrition, we can use what we call dedicated sales coaches. And today, 25,000 sellers in our own organization have been coached by their dedicated agent sales coaches. That's the advantage of having agents to do some of the jobs which can easily be done by them. And that's the way you can create capacity, limitless capacity, with the same capacity that you have today. Now, having said that, again, I do believe that just saying things is not enough. Just as we said that the proof of the pudding is in the eating, you should also listen to a customer of ours. Mark Benioff, our founder, by the way, just gave an interview on the Economic Times, and it's there on the front page of the Mumbai edition. he mentioned two companies, and both of them are here today. One, of course, is Air India, who will come in later, but right now, Hero FinCorp. A big applause for Sai Potalarju. He is the Enterprise Applications Head for Hero FinCorp. Welcome. So, Sai, just wanted to check, first and foremost, thank you for being on the Agentforce, the World Tour. But given the fact that your organization has gone through such a digital transformation, tell me a few things about, the way, the stages of that transformation, and what role did you play in it?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Good morning, everyone. So just to start off, our aim for the transformation was always to build a digital-first loan journey, which simplifies and accelerates the loan process for any individuals, the borrowers. So with that journey, what we started off is building a digital platform that's more agile, simplified, easy to use interface. And then we also worked on how do we personalize the journey for everyone. And that's where we started off with our AI journey. And when we talk through a digital platform, like what we have any lending platform, we need to have personalized journeys, we need to have simplified underwriting processes, we need to have a optimized collecting mechanism, and then last but not least, the customer engagement through services mechanism. So we looked at all the individual processes that we had and looked at every step that can be optimized, simplified, and where AI can come and help us in our journey to make it more agile.
Wonderful. And something, I love talking to finance professionals. Somehow or the other, my 40 years in banking catches up with me. It's so good to hear you say all of these things because, all of these things were such huge challenges for us when we were working on something that was entirely manual. Huge challenges. But I think what you all are doing is helping transform the lives of millions, okay? By ensuring that they get credit. And the getting of credit means that they can invest in many ways and thereby improve their incomes and their standard of living. Now, having said that, one of the biggest problems that, the customer pain points was the delay in getting the credit. The huge kind of process that you had to go through.
Yeah.
Would you say that your digital transformation journey has really tried to improve that? What's the kind of improvement you've seen, and has that made things better for the borrowers?
Yeah, definitely. I'll take two examples where typically in a lending process, there are two areas where the decisioning is a bit elongated.
Right.
One is the data entry where we take the customer information, enter the login information into our systems. The second one is our underwriting process because we need to cross-verify a lot of information before we can make a decision. Now, where AI comes into picture for us, we are using Agentforce today to make sure that the data that we are taking from the customer is automatically authenticated, validated through various mechanisms with the help of the Salesforce professional services in the Agentforce. And then our entire underwriting process now runs on AI ML models, which can give us instant decisioning. We don't need to wait for elongated process, it can give us instant decisioning. Thereby the turnaround time for this entire steps, crunches, and then the sanction is instantaneous. I think that's where we have started using it, we are already seeing some benefits, and then as and when we have more data coming into the picture, the models will self-learn and we will see more TAT reduction.
Wonderful. In fact, when I was in SBI, one of the biggest complaints that I used to get from borrowers was, why the hell don't you ask for all the documents at one time? You know, our people used to keep going back. They'd ask you for a list of 5 documents and then keep going back and ask you for 2 more. And then after you've given 2 more, they would go back and ask you for another one. Like, they used to sort of literally throw up their hands and say, what the hell? Why can't you ask it all together? You think Agentforce asks for it all together?
Agentforce asks for it all together. I think what we have done in 2 steps. One is internally, we are taking very few data from the customer.
Right.
There are some journeys where we take only 2 inputs from the customer. Everything else is got from the back end. Because now India has such a rich source of data, which we can validate from the source. Most of the information is got from the source. But wherever we are collecting from the customer, like an Aadhaar or a PAN or a bank statement, Agentforce helps us instantaneously to validate that information and then let us know if something is wrong, so that that can be solved instantly rather than going through the process and then coming back.
And that's such a relief, frankly speaking, because a person with a name as big as mine, when I'm asked repeatedly to spell my name for somebody, that itself takes up half my time. So, you know, getting it from the back end is actually a real, you know, I would say it's a real blessing. Tell me, there must be some impact on your back end teams, on your employees. And what do you think is that impact? And if that impact is there, would you have any success metrics for it? How do you sort of, you know, describe this impact that it has on them?
I think the super success metric is about the customer satisfaction.
Right.
And then, of course, improving our operational efficiency.
Right.
These are the 2 major things. But having said that, what we see is that we have the customer satisfaction is definitely going to be a huge impact because we have faster turnaround time. For our backend systems, they don't need to go through these repeated activities of validating documents. So there is a huge rework that has been eliminated there. So there is a backend impact. And for our employees, now they'll be focusing on more value-added activities rather than just validating documents, seeing the content, etc. And then the entire ecosystem. So when we see the impact, it's not just on our customers, employees, but the entire digital ecosystem. Now we can plan for a much scalable infrastructure, scalable use cases that were not tried earlier.
Right.
I think that's the biggest thing.
So when you talk about scalable, we know that there are particular times in the year when suddenly, you know, the request for loans goes up. And then there are again lean periods when the request is not so much. Is that something that you can now manage with much more ease than be extremely stressed out? I remember we used to get very stressed out in the bank, you know, when the peak season was coming, because we didn't want a single customer to go away, but we couldn't expand our capacity as per our requirements. Is that something that you're able to handle better
now? That's a great question. I think we still get stressed out during festival time. That's just purely because of the load and that we anticipate. But Agentforce can really help us there because now the number of checks and balances that we need to keep in place, some of the agents can take care of that.
Right.
And we can really focus on the insights that are coming out of the data and the analytics that we are running through our dashboards, and we can focus more on what steps that need to be taken at that point in time rather than the repeated actions that we need to do with the documentation, gathering data, making sure the data is right, etc. I think that's why it can help.
What about errors? You know, errors are something that used to plague us hugely. Are you seeing that the number of errors that are being made, have you made any assessment about the kind of purity of data, etc., that is coming in? And are you seeing errors coming down? Because at the end of the day, if you're doing a lot of data entry, you're bound to have errors that creep in.
Yeah, I think what we are, yes, the errors will definitely come down, but in the first year of Agentforce, we have a target for ourselves, right? Saying that the not in good order, which is kind of an error in the system, we're going to bring it down by 37%. That's the target.
Okay.
And then in the next year, we're going to increase it to 80%.
Okay.
So what we are trying to do is from the Agentforce, the learnings that are coming from the Agentforce.
Right.
And how are we implementing those learnings back into our documentation
Right.
so that the model can learn itself and the proper nudges are given to the sales executives who are front-ending the customers as well as the customers themselves using the agentic chatbots to provide them the information and arrest the insights, and the inputs that are coming to create these errors.
Right. And I think as your customers get used to this more and more, they themselves will come with the right kind of inputs, Probably it will just take a little time for this to be tuned up. So now that you have a workforce that is really being helped out by these agents, and therefore, a lot of the drudge jobs are taken off, what could be the new opportunities that open up for them? How do you envisage those new opportunities?
So we are seeing it as the usage of the time in more value-added activities like designing a new product, or we spending our time in looking at new avenues. Because the data is there, we can do hyper-personalization with the data, rather than using a segment level segmentation and then practicing at that level. We can go to the customer level and give personalized loan options, personalized underwriting, and then also help the teams to create new steps and processes in managing the collections, because we know the pattern right now. I think that's where the teams are spending more and more time.
Wonderful.
As we go through this path.
Okay, so no longer spray and pray, target rather. So in that case, your marketing expenses actually should come down and your conversions should actually go up.
It should.
Hopefully you have metrics to try and measure that as we go along. Right. So, there are a lot of C-suite persons over here. So tell me, in your view, how should these executives that are here, how should they prepare their organizations for this transformation? As you know, it's something very important. A lot of people want to do it, but they don't know what's the first step. How do you go about it? What were the type of steps you took, and what would you recommend for such people?
I think the agentic force or any AI transformation is not a tech transformation. So let's start with that. It's not a tech thing. It's more of a business transformation where we need to plan in advance. What we did is to clearly identify the use cases where AI can really play a major role, and then evaluate the impact of where this can play a major role, prioritize them, and then start your journey. Now, when we start the AI journey, we should also have a data that is ready for AI. So how do we have your data journey together so that you are making sure that the data is pure and it is usable for AI? If it is not, then you have to have a data stream that goes in parallel to implementing the agentic journey. And then how do you deal with the governance mechanisms of AI? Now, how are you making sure that your models are auditable, your models are predicting the way it is? And then how are we encompassing the regulators, the compliance teams in the journey so that we can get the right inputs while we are starting the journey rather than at the end?
Right.
I think and those are some of the tips that work for us and should work for everyone.
Okay. You spoke about two very, very important things. One is auditable, okay, and the other one that you talked about, I think, was the fact that you can actually you need the data to be correct, okay. So obviously the underpinning of all of this is data, and data being correct is very important. And for a regulated industry like yours, where the regulatory hand is rightfully or otherwise quite heavy, I think having those auditable processes are extremely important, because humans can make a lot of mistakes. There can be mis-selling, there can be a lot of things that we don't get it right, not deliberately maybe, but it happens. Here with the agents, you now have auditable processes so that you know what you're doing, whether it's right or not, and you can change your models accordingly, of course.
Yes.
So, thank you very much. Thank you for those inputs. I really appreciate your coming and really appreciated your conversation. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, today, this is what it is all about. How do you actually implement the digital labor platform? How do you ensure that the data gives you results that are trusted and accurate? How do you ensure that you build a customer 360? A way in which the customers will know that they are getting served to the best of your ability, and the way that you will know that you are able to keep the customer at the center of all your operations. But while I have told you the stories and I had the easy job of doing this, you do need some technical details. And for that, who best to hand it over than to Sandeep Kamath, who heads our data cloud and our Agentforce operations in India. Sandeep, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Sai. I think that was a wonderful and very insightful discussion, and hopefully we're going to talk a little bit more about how you've been using Agentforce as we move forward. That said, thank you everyone for joining us here. A very good morning to all of you. My name is Sandeep, and I'm here to talk to you about Agentforce. Okay. Sania Mirza and Arun Parmeshwaran spoke about what they would like Agentforce to be. Ma'am and Sai spoke about how Hero FinCorp is using Agentforce. But let's actually double click and think what exactly Agentforce is. Agentforce is a deeply unified platform which connects agentic AIs to your data via Data Cloud across your customer 360 applications and help you get value faster. According to some surveys that we've done, up to 16 times faster and up to 75% more accurate. Agentforce has been built as an open and extendable platform, which means we have a thriving community of partners that allows us, for all of you, our customers, to connect your data from any data source. Use your own AI, bring your own AI via the LLM models of your choice. Run Salesforce on hyperscale clouds of choice. We have partnerships with AWS, we have partnerships with Google, with Alibaba, amongst many others. In fact, just recently, we announced a very large strategic partnership with Google, which brings the power of Gemini into Agentforce and also increase our infrastructure abilities with Google. We have App Exchange, which most of you are aware, is our ISV ecosystem, partners who have built applications and extensions which help you realize more of your Salesforce investment. We are very proud to say we have extended this to now launch Agent Exchange, where we have almost 200 partners as on date who are providing pre-built actions and templates that can help you deploy agents faster. Agentforce works across every team and every workflow. Whether it's qualifying a lead, whether it's scheduling an appointment, managing your inventory, Agentforce has the ability to work inside of your CRM or in any application in your enterprise architecture via MuleSoft. What that means is if you want to process a refund in SAP, if you want to enable a subscription in Snowflake, or if you want to onboard employees on Workday, you can now do it with Agentforce. Agentforce works where you work, truly bringing the concept of digital labor to the fore. And the way Agentforce is able to do it is through something called skills. Now, skills is what makes Agentforce proactive. The heart and brain of Agentforce is what we probably call the Atlas reasoning engine. And this allows Agentforce to learn with every action it takes. But what are these actions and how are they triggered? It starts with a trigger. It starts with either a customer conversation, a change in customer behavior, or an anomaly in your data. Like, let's say, a device that stopped working. Now, the Atlas reasoning engine or Agentforce takes this information that the device is not working, understands what more information it needs to make sense of that data, and then churns out its reasoning engine to identify what is the best action to take that action, and come to you with an outcome. All of this without human intervention. That's it. That's what Agentforce does. Sorry, my clicker seems to be having a mind of its own. Let's see. There we are. Everyone in this room, and we have a very large audience in the room, I'm sure has started their journey with AI, with chatbots. Predictive AI, models which have been trained to handle rudimentary L1 tasks. Then a couple of years back, generative AI was launched, and with it came a whole new set of possibilities. The way we would think about how we could use it in business was bringing in this generative capability to provide smart, tailored assistance so that each one of us had information at our fingertips. But then, it was just not enough. Having information at your fingertips is not enough because it is reactive. We wanted AI to be proactive. We wanted AI to take action, which is where the agentic AI world opened up, and which is why we are so excited to have Agentforce. As an organization, you have a lot of data which you own. Some of this data is structured, some of it is unstructured. The ability for the Atlas reasoning engine and therefore Agentforce to use that information, study it, index that data, and try and make sense of it is where the whole plan of Agentforce and its superpower comes in. What Agentforce does is goes through this whole cycle multiple times to identify what exactly is the best way in which this information can be embedded to make sense of the data. There are a lot of technical data points like knowledge graphs and recursive trees, which we use to do that. And we also do it ahead of time. It speaks about not just actions, but how are you using those actions, how are you using your policies, and what is the context by which it can learn more. And then the trigger happens. And when that trigger happens, Atlas Reasoning Engine allows the reasoning engine to kick in, provide an action which can give an outcome, and learn from it in a continuous way. And that's what we are able to do with Agentforce, and continuously learn from it. To what Sai mentioned, we have something today, we will be much better with it in the future. Like Arundhati ma'am mentioned, when we launched Agentforce ourselves, we were having 44% accuracy. Today we stand at 85%. And that's something to think about. So let's see what Sai and ma'am were speaking about with Hero FinCorp's story on Agentforce. Like Sai mentioned, Hero has gone through a cycle of imbuing AI into every one of their processes to improve their accuracy, to reduce errors, and to bring about a faster time to market. To show you some of how this works in action, let me invite my colleagues Priyanka and Vikram to give you a sneak peek. Over to you.
All right. Imagine you are a sales executive of an NBFC stationed at a bike dealership trying to help a young, passionate biker secure finance for their dream bike. You are working really hard to get the right loan amount approved for them. And therefore, you're juggling between multiple systems, answering customer questions, and handling operational bottlenecks. But what if I tell you that there is a better way, a smarter way? Hi everyone, I'm really excited to show you how Agentforce is helping Hero FinCorp to transform the vehicle financing experience. But before we hit the road, let's meet the characters. So we have Alicia, who is a passionate biker looking forward to purchase a cruiser bike. We have Amit and Rakesh, who work at the NBFC, trying to give wings to the dreams of multiple customers. And then we have Rohit, who is our smart sales executive at Davidson Motors. Now, as we get to the journey, there are two parts to it. We'll begin with a before scenario where we'll see how Amit, who works at Cumulus Finance, is challenged with a lot of day-to-day aspects because of a traditional setup. And this leads to disconnected experiences. And then we'll move to the after scenario where we'll see how Agentforce is enabling Hero FinCorp, our tech-savvy and intelligent financier, to deliver a different experience altogether. So let's zoom to the experience. Alicia visits Davidson Motors and she's looking for various bike options. She sets her heart on Extreme 250, and since she started working recently, she decides to get finance for her purchase. She speaks to Rohit, who connects her to Amit from Cumulus Finance. Now, Amit starts entering basic information about the loan amount requested, the bike model she is interested in, and he also selects a popular scheme that he thinks will help in improving the loan eligibility. Now, once this is done, he initiates the KYC process and captures some more details like the employment information, the income-related details, and then he submits the loan for an eligibility check. The loan amount gets approved. But I think we all can see that Alicia is highly disappointed. This is because the loan amount approved is pretty low and she is not in a position to go in for a high down payment at this point in time. For a split second, she thinks, does it make sense to talk to another financier or maybe go back to her trusted banking partner? And at the same time, Amit is also speaking to his manager, his peers at the dealership to see how can he help. All this while, he's losing the valuable time, and also there is a risk of Alicia being poached by another financier at the dealership. Now, he gets a suggestion to add a co-applicant. He quickly relays that back to Alicia. Alicia accepts it. They add her father as a co-applicant, and once this is done, they submit the loan once again for eligibility check. This time, the loan amount approved is what Alicia was expecting. She's a bit happy now. They move on with the process. As part of the next step, Alicia is also eligible for an insurance offer. But she has a couple of questions around the terms and conditions of the policy. But Amit does not have answers to all the questions. He's not able to convince Alicia, and Alicia decides to opt out. Amit loses an opportunity to do a cross-sell over here. He continues to upload the documents one by one, whether it's a PAN card, an address proof like an Aadhaar, or other documents like a down payment receipt. Once he is done, he submits the loan application for dispersal. The application now lands in the queue of the operations team. After a couple of hours, it gets assigned to Rakesh, who inspects every single detail in the loan application. He also looks at all the documents that are attached to this loan application. Now, this is a very time-consuming and tedious process. He can see that one of the documents, the down payment receipt, has some missing information. So he decides to send this back to Amit. Now, Amit is notified about this error. He re-uploads the correct document, submits the loan application again, and it once again goes into the ops queue. A couple of hours went by, and it again goes to Rakesh, who quickly validates the updated loan application, but he again needs to manually check all the documents, whether this time they are correct or not. He can see that more or less the information is in order, and he decides that this time he'll go ahead and approve this loan. So the loan gets ready for dispersal. Alicia is happy that she can take the bike back home after an initial bumpy ride. Now, I'm sure you would all have observed that this was a slow and exhausting process. It was plagued with multiple issues like delayed dispersal, inconsistent customer experience, and poor SE and ops productivity. It had increased the overall TAT as well. Now let's see what happens when Agentforce and MuleSoft Intelligent Document Processing Engine steps in to transform this entire experience. It's the same customer, same bike, same dealership, but this time Amit is working at Hero FinCorp. He uses his new Salesforce app to start capturing information about the loan. He can also see a smart nudge powered by Agentforce, which suggests that he should select a best scheme that will ensure maximum loan amount for Alicia. He quickly opts in for this suggestion. This insight is grounded in the information like the loan amount requested, the bike model, the dealership type, and so on. And it is embedded right in the flow of work for Amit, leaving no room for ad hoc decisioning. This is a great start. Let's move on. Next, Amit can see there is a nudge to add a co-applicant. Now, Amit is amused. He is intrigued. It says that adding a co-applicant will help in further boosting the loan eligibility. He wants to know what are the other methods by which he can improve the loan eligibility. So, he decides to reach out to his sales agent, Ajay, which is powered by Agentforce. Ajay gives him all other alternative methods of doing the same thing, boosting the eligibility of the loan. He can see there are other methods like adding additional income stream, adding a co-applicant, revisiting the repayment tenor, etc. But the important part here is, how are these insights getting generated? Data Cloud plays a very important role over here. All the company data, whether it is the loan product brochures, the knowledge articles in structured, unstructured format, are stored in the vector store of Data Cloud. Data Cloud and Agentforce are deeply integrated. Now, Agentforce rule engine picks all this information and generates these insights, which is grounded in the company data, respecting the guardrails, and hence offering personalized suggestions here. Now, Amit gets the cue that he needs to add a co-applicant, and he shares this suggestion with Alicia. They decide to add her father as a co-applicant and collect all the details and enters that information into the loan application. Now, once this is done, loan is submitted for eligibility, and wow. In the first go itself, the loan amount that gets sanctioned matches what Alicia was expecting. Not only does it match the expectation, it is also getting sanctioned much faster. This is going great. Let's move on. Alicia is also eligible for an insurance policy, and as we know, she has certain questions about the terms and conditions. Now this time, Amit seeks help once again from his trusted sales agent, Ajay. Ajay gives him all the details about the insurance policy, whether it is the coverage info, the inclusions, exclusions, and so on. Amit is confidently able to answer all the queries, and Alicia decides to opt in for this policy this time. Great, cross-sell done right, check. Let's move on. I'm sure you all know what happens next now. Amit needs to upload the documents. But this time, he's uploading the documents in a shiny new SC workbench. This workbench is powered by Agentforce and MuleSoft Intelligent Document Processing Engine. Now, MuleSoft IDP, unlike other traditional OCRs, is not only extracting the data from these documents, it is also able to intelligently classify these documents, whether it is a PAN, Aadhaar, invoice, and so on. After classifying the document, it is also able to validate all the data extracted all in real time. This is great because what is happening is Amit can see the insight that there is one document that has some information which should have been there but is missing. So now he is able to avoid all the manual handoffs he was having with the ops team. He proactively uploads the correct document. The SC workbench runs once more, and this time there is no error. The loan is ready for disbursal submission. Yes, next it lands in the ops queue, right? So the ops queue is now sending this file to Rakesh once again. But Rakesh is also not working alone either. He too has an AI-powered ops workbench that is also built on top of Agentforce and MuleSoft IDP. So instead of downloading every time each and every document and then inspecting it, Rakesh is able to use this workbench to look at the document inside right within the workbench itself. This is a huge time saver for him. He can see that all that information is complete and he has approved the loan. Congratulations, Alicia. All I can say is one happy customer and one streamlined journey across every stakeholder. What was happening in days is now happening in a few minutes. But the magic of Agentforce does not stop here. Agentforce adopts multiple roles as an agent and continues to assist Alicia, sometimes as a collection agent, reminding her about the upcoming EMI payments, at times as an offer agent, recommending a personal loan that she is eligible for, and at times as a customer service agent, helping resolving her queries. In fact, a little secret, the agent started helping her out even before she had come in. In fact, she visited the Davidson Motors, right? So I'm leaving you all with a glimpse of how Ajay, our agent, continues to deliver and delight our customer, Alicia over here, with the different experiences. Take a look. Can we have the video, please? Thank you.
Wow, great choice, ma'am.
Thank you. Actually, Ajay ने बहुत help किया. He totally gets me, yeah.
Oh, hello. Nobody gets you, huh?
Ajay.
Who's this guy?
Guy नहीं सर, Agentforce का AI. हमारे AI agents customers को सही समझते हैं.
Oh, साथ में insurance भी दिया है. Very nice guy. I mean AI.
Agentforce, sales, service, marketing को बनाए और भी amazing. तो सर, बात पक्की? Agentforce, what AI was meant to be.
I'm from Bangalore and I'm a big fan of the wall. And everyone here in the room who is, please give me a big shout out for Mr. Rahul Dravid. Thank you. And thank you, Priyanka and Vikram, for giving that sneak peek into how Hierophant Corp is trying and using Agentforce to improve processes and bring down their turnaround times. A few years back, we would have called this science fiction, right? But it's reality now, and it could be reality for all of us across the board as we move forward. But then again, it can give you that sense that Agentforce works only in financial services. No, it is not. Agentforce is a automation tool, is an autonomous agent which can work across the board, across multiple use cases, sales, service, and marketing, for healthcare, for retail, for banking, you name the industry, it will work in there, provided we are having very clear views about what the use cases are and how are we using it to improve and bring down timelines and improve efficiencies, improve accuracies, and bring down errors. So that said, we spoke about Agentforce. Let me now move on to the next aspect of what we want to talk to you about, which is Data Cloud. And it's my privilege to invite on stage Mr. Stephen Hammond, the EVP and General Manager of Marketing Cloud, to walk you through Data Cloud. Welcome, Stephen.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sandeep. How did you like that? Are you excited about Agentforce? All right, there's a lot of great things that are coming, and it's exciting to see all the incredible innovation. We're going to step back just a little bit and look at what makes this possible. How do we make sure that all these systems have the right data to make this work? And when it comes to AI, one of the most important things is to make sure that the AI engine can understand your business, your customers, and your needs. But it can be very complicated and very expensive to go through the process of trying to build out your own AI model. It would take billions of dollars to try to match the latest LLMs in the marketplace. And even if you did that, you would still have a gap. Because what's required in order to use these LLM models and to be able to use the latest in AI and generative AI is a word that I hope you'll remember. Of anything else that I say today, I'd ask you to remember this one word, and it is context. Okay? So no matter how powerful and how knowledgeable the AI system is, if it doesn't understand what the individual's need is for that moment, then it won't have the context to provide a meaningful response or to provide a meaningful experience. And that context is critical. So how do we get that context? The first thing we look at, if we go back one slide, is today when we interact with agents or with AI systems, we use a prompt. And that prompt can be something very simple. Let's say that we have a retail site and we have an array of products. And these products might be kind of similar, and the user wants to ask the AI system a very simple question, an agent, and say, which of these products should I purchase? That is a very simple example of a prompt. But what's the problem here? The problem is that the AI system needs context. It needs to understand which products are we even considering here. The AI system also needs to understand what is this individual used to purchasing? What are their interests? What are their hobbies? What products have they previously bought? All these different pieces of information are the context that makes this valuable. And so, although we want these very simple requests or prompts to be able to make AI very simple, we need more information. We need context. And that is where Data Cloud comes in. In fact, the way that we provide that context is something called retrieval augmented generation. And that's a big fancy word for basically saying, I'm going to go out and get more information and pull it in and augment or make your prompt more meaningful. So we can still have a very simple request like, which of these products should I consider, or which of these products should I buy? But behind the scenes, instead of making that user type in a very long, exhaustive request describing all the products, we can go back and look up their history, their account information, their interests. We can pull up inventory data, and we can put that into the prompt that goes back to the AI engine. And the reason that we can do this is because of Data Cloud. So Data Cloud works behind the scenes. This is the system, the tool that we've created that provides context, that gives us a real-world, real-time understanding of meaningful data. And it does it in a very powerful way. It does it in a way that allows you to be able to work with systems across your business. Even if that data needs to exist independently in those systems, we can make a reference to that data directly without requiring a copy. We call that zero copy. We can also provide governance controls on this. And this gives us a complete view and understanding of your data in a way that ties it back to be used for real-time context for these AI engines and also for our applications that provide meaningful experiences for your customers. So when we look at Data Cloud, it includes a couple of key areas. First of all, It allows us to be able to pull in all of the relevant information from your business. This includes information coming from Salesforce systems, anything you're managing across Salesforce, but also any external applications as well. It allows you to bring information from data lakes. I'm sure everybody in this room has a data lake, and probably some of you have been asking yourselves, well, if I already have a data lake, why would I need Data Cloud? Well, again, Data Cloud doesn't require you to move data into our system. We can provide zero copy. And the most important thing that Data Cloud does is it allows you to make that data across all these systems actionable to provide that real-time context for agents and for applications. So it really advances your ability to be able to use that data and make it effective. The next thing that we do is once we can bring that data in the system, we need to make sense of it. And this is another beautiful part of what we've done at Data Cloud. We created an extremely open ecosystem. So you're not required to change the data before it comes into Data Cloud. Again, we follow a zero copy approach. So we can simply point to your data in any of the systems where it's managed. And that data, as it exists in these different systems, allows you to be able to maintain that data in its original structure, and then we translate it as it comes to the system. Kind of like a Rosetta Stone. We can interpret the data as it comes in, we map it, and then we make sense of it. And then finally, we can add governance and controls to that, which allow you to be able to use that data effectively to be able to run your business at the scale and with the governance that you require, and then make that data actionable. Now, this is probably one of the more complicated slides that you're going to see here today, but this is really interesting because, again, what Data Cloud is allowing you to be able to do is take these disparate data sets, which are effectively trapped across your business in all these different systems, and make sense of that data. But what it also does is it puts it directly on the same system that Agentforce uses. And so when Agentforce is going out to do this retrieval and augmented generation, which is basically providing context to what your business has for your customers, your inventory, your offers, the history of an individual with your brand, previous purchases that they had, all this important information to make sure that you can give them the best possible response. They can use that information in real time, in milliseconds, and bring it into the prompt to make sure that the AI system has all the latest information. But it also goes through our trust layer, which means that you're not giving away that information to these large language models. You're not enriching these outside systems. Your data, it stays your data. You're protecting your customers and your business through our trust layer. We also then bring that response back into our system and then provide the responses that you saw earlier with Agentforce. And through this entire process, Data Cloud is the core of providing a deep understanding of your business to these agents in a trusted way with real-time access to the data. So Data Cloud is a really important part of making sure that agents work. We're really excited to share more information with you. We'd love for you to go visit some of our booths in the campground area to get your hands on this as well. But it's also important that we figure out and make sure that you're taking the same data and the same capabilities of agents and make sure that it works across the full customer 360. That your teams, as you're building out applications for marketing or service or sales or commerce, have access to all these systems using the same underlying data and using that and extending it with systems of intelligence. And so that's where we go into the customer 360. And please help me by welcoming Mankiran to join me up here on stage or to take us through the applications. Mankiran.
Hold on. Since 1999, Salesforce's vision has been to help you connect with your customers in new and different ways. We do that by bringing the data from sales, service, marketing, commerce, and all other applications on our Customer 360 platform. And we're bringing the power of Agentforce to each one of those applications. As a deeply passionate advocate of Salesforce, but also a customer zero at Salesforce, I'm very pleased to talk to you about each of these applications and where Agentforce fits. Let me begin with Sales Cloud. How cool would it be for every seller if they could offload all the tedious work, accelerate their productivity, find leads faster, and help convert them even faster? And also, when we were speaking to Sanya, she was speaking about this coach in real time. How cool would it be for each of the sellers to have a coach giving them live coaching on each of their calls? And that's where Agentforce for Salesforce on Sales Cloud will be powerful. When you think about service, this is an opportunity for customer service reps and customer service agents to work together to close cases faster, but not just close cases faster, but have a better and personalized and more proactive response rate as well. With scheduling agents, you're able to automate the dispatching processes that will enable for more efficient field service teams. And finally, for all of us as employees of different organizations, having an employee agent to answer questions and work for us and speed our productivity will be really powerful. If you look at Marketing Cloud, it gives the agents the power to create personalized campaigns. It gives the power to find leads faster through those personalized campaigns and help with higher productivity as well. If you look at commerce, and this one is a personal favorite example, anyone in the room who has shopped online in the last 30 days? Really? Just 1/3 of the room? Okay, 60 days? I don't believe that's true, but anybody who shopped online in the last 60 days? I would imagine everybody's bought something over the last 60 days. To turn the opportunity for marketers to convert the awareness into purchase decisions, we need to meet them where they are, which is in their cart. If you raise your hand, at least for me, I know I get distracted in the middle of a purchase. A call comes, a child comes, or something else happens, and there are abandoned carts. I forget about what I was looking at, and I have other things to prioritize. Imagine the opportunity for us to leverage that, where merchant agents can help create promotions, can track their purchasing trends, where a buyer agent could help me and you reorder and look up our orders as well, or even a personalized shopping agent that can prioritize what should be in my cart before I even make a purchasing decision. If you look at revenue and orders, for every organization, the quote to cash process is an important process which needs to be efficient for us to be able to recognize our revenue and to also improve customer 360 and the experience for customers. With the agent for revenue and orders, right from quote to contract to billing, it automates the entire process and therefore streamlining the efficiency in that process as well. If you look at Tableau has been in the market for over 20 years, 21 to be right, and already is a trusted source of data and analytics. But we also know that one of the opportunities in a place like Tableau is for us to elevate. As an example, none of the AI really understands what is up or down, or different companies have different metrics of what weighted pipeline might mean, or customer churn might mean. But therefore, with the semantics layer that is available in Tableau with Agentforce, you're able to leverage what Steve said, the word context. The context of the organization is understood, and you're able to have a conversation using that data. We all know that as humans, we make much better decisions, not just when we can read the data, but also when we can see the data. And that's the power of bringing that into Tableau with Agentforce. If you look at Slack is, we have an opportunity to really improve employee productivity like never done before. We all know there are humans and agents are different, but there's a lot of similarities as well. As an example, we know that humans and agents get smarter through conversations. We know context matters as well. On Slack, every day, there are 700 million messages exchanged. And that is a really powerful source of context. We spoke about structured and unstructured data and the ability to pull that data to bring that context. And that's what is opportunity in Agentforce and Slack. One of the use cases as an example could be employee onboarding. We know that when a new employee comes on board, the ability to get them productive faster or how soon they'd like to be able to start creating an impact in an organization is always an area that we're all working with. Now imagine that a teammate could, a Slack agent could then be added to that, to help that person with the new hire productivity, who has the context of everything in the context of the organization, who can then be the personal guide for this particular new hire to come up to speed and create impact. And I think that's really where the power of Slack on Agentforce is going to be. Think about the fact that you could actually bring in an agent onto your team and also assign actions. That agent could create a canvas for you, could start a project list for you, could even create a new channel for you. And that's the power of what Slack and Agentforce could do. If you look at MuleSoft, this is, we spoke about, Stephen spoke about how zero copy and how the third-party integrations work. We know for your organizations to really leverage the power of AI, there is going to be actions that are taken outside the Salesforce applications as well. And that's actually where MuleSoft comes into play with APIs and connectors that are then able to connect with applications that sit outside the Salesforce ecosystem to bring the power of that data through RAG and take actions as well. Regardless of the industry you're in, there are thousands of cases available. We've in fact published a library of 100 use cases on this screen. This is an opportunity to take your phone and scan the QR code, because this is exactly how every business could start with Agentforce today. The possibilities clearly are endless, and we're really looking forward to getting you started. We've shown you today what AI was meant to be. We've shown you how every business in every industry can deploy it, leverage the power of Data Cloud, and access it across the customer 360. And it's all happening on the digital labor platform, Agentforce. This is just the start of the day today and the start of the journey. For all of our friends and colleagues who've joined us on LinkedIn Live, this will be the end of our stream. But for everybody else in the room, we'd really like for you to check out the campgrounds, check out the demos, deep dive on the sessions with our industry and customer leaders. Also, don't forget to definitely try your own hand at building your Agentforce in a matter of a few minutes. But first, let me invite the Sales Cloud team to come on stage to bring the session to you. Thank you very much. May the force be with you.